All right, we are now being recorded, so let's be on our best behavior. Okay, so chapter 5, use of properties of angles, triangles, and the Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes because it will cut me off. Um, so let's do that. Timers. Let's do that. Okay, we'll get there. Okay, I'm going to have to pause this. Okay, we're back. So, use of the property of angles, use of properties of triangles in the Pythagorean theorem. So, if we have a straight horizontal line drawn as we can see right here, from side around the point, we can see it's 180 degrees. We know that. Um, so that's just a straight line, but makes 180. Now, example, angle A here is an acute angle, and you can just see it has two endpoints. It pivots on a point. So we have a vertex at point A, so we will call that angle A. So angles are measured in degrees and use the degree symbol. So if angle A is 27 degrees, we would write measurement M of angle A equals 27. I would put the degree symbol in, but you don't have to. I'll understand. Um, if the sum of the measures of two angles is 180 degrees, then they are called supplementary angles. Um, in figure 3, you can see, total adds up to 180. So if angle A is 60, the other one's 120. 135 becomes 45. Very simple. We'll go through lots of those. So if we start off with a right angle, 90 degrees, which I always like to draw the angle. I know that those of you at home can't see it. I put the little square at the angle to just make sure we know it's 90 degree. So as you can see here, if you have an angle of 50, it's complementary angle. And it's not complement like, hey, you look very nice today. No, it's complementary with an E. So if the angles are being nice, yeah, it might be complementary, but these are complementary. So just some hard facts here, useful things. If angle A and angle B are supplementary, then the sum of their measurements is 180 degrees. If the sum of the measures of two angles is 90 degrees, they are called complementary angles. So how to problem solving strategy for geometry applications. Read the problem, make sure you understand all the words and ideas. Draw a diagram. Always draw a diagram. It will help. Name what you are looking for. Basically, what we do with story problems, translate into equations, solve using good algebra techniques, which we're working on. Check the answer and then answer in a complete sentence. So let's just look at example 1 here. An angle measures 40 degrees. Find its supplement and B, its complement. Well, supplement, we know that supplementary angles we saw above have to add up to 180 degrees. So we simply subtract 40 from 180. They set it up as a algebra problem, so that's how they solved it. So S equals 140. And it works. 140 plus 40 is 180. Example B here, we have two angles that they say add up to a right angle, even though do they say that anywhere? Yeah. So they're not saying it's complement, but we're going to find the complement. So we're going to just assume they're asking for letting us know we'll make a right angle. So the complement has to be 90 minus 40. But we know that A plus B has to equals 90, so C is 50. So 90 plus or 40 plus 50 is 90. So angle measures 25. What's its supplement? Simply 180 minus 25, which is 155. Its complement would be 90 minus 25, which is 65. So just a lot of this, I can do it in my head. You'll be able to end up doing it in your heads. So we have two angles are supplementary. The larger angle is 30 degrees more than the smaller angle. Find the measure of both angles. Wow, this is like the story problems, right? Yeah. So identify what we're looking for, measures of both angles, name it. Let A equals the measure of the smaller angle. Let A plus 30 equals the measure of the larger angle. So we know because larger angle is 30 degrees more than the smaller. So we've just set up an algebra problem. You can use X if you want. I know some, use X, Y if you feel like it, if it's easier. So basically they used variable of 30. So 2A plus 30 equals 180. 2A equals 150. So then we know that A is the measure of the smaller angle as we defined. A plus 30 equals the measure of the larger angle. So we have 75 and then 75 plus 30, 105. Do those add up to 180? Yes, indeed. So there we are. So try it too. Two angles are supplementary. The larger angle is 100 more than the smaller angle. So let's say the smaller angle is X. They're telling us the larger angle is 100 more than X. So the larger angle would have to be 100 plus X, right? Yeah. So then the measure of both angles. So then we know, and unfortunately at home you can't see this, X plus 100 plus X equals 180. So that means 2X plus 100 equals 180. We got to get rid of that 100, so we end up with 2X equals 80, X equals 40. So then we know our larger angle has to be 100 more than that, so our other angle is 140. Do 140 and 40 add up to 180? Yes, they do. So let's see if we got the right answer. Yes, we did. Hot dog. And so now triangles are just, as I say, three angles. Try. Excuse me. So triangle, ABC. So there's our little triangle sign. And I know that in class I've said the Greek letter delta always means change. Well, sometimes it means triangle, but you'll recognize that. So triangle ABC has vertices A, B, and C, and sides lowercase a, B, and C. So what do three angles of a triangle add up to? 180 degrees. So measurement of angle A plus measurement of angle B plus a measurement of angle C equals 180. So we have a little rule here for any triangle, ABC or whatever you want to call it. The angles always, invariably come to 180. One of the most useful tools in mathematics and science. So moving right along, example 3, if we have the measures of two of the angles of a triangle are 55 and 82, find the measure of the third angle. So in the diagram they've drawn here, they've shown the unknown angle is X, 82 and 55 are our knowns. So basically we know from our formula that the three angles measurements must add up to 180. So let's write down what we know. 55 plus 82 plus X equals 180. All right, there's our equation. Let's solve for X. So 55 plus 82, 137. Now we have to get our constants all isolated on the right. So subtract 137 from 180, X equals 43. Does it work? Yes. Very straightforward. So the same thing with try at number 3. We can draw a triangle, and let's define our unknown angle as X. Our other two angles are 31 and 128. Then, right, so we know they add up to 180, and then so we can add up the two knowns, which comes to 159. So then we subtract 159 from 180, and then we should have 21 degrees, right? There we go. So very straightforward. So right triangles, I know you know what they are, but right triangles have one 90-degree angle. A triangle cannot have two 90-degree angles because then you have two angles adding up to 180. So, if I might give you a problem that says a triangle with two right angles and you'll just say, we're not doing it. I might do that to you. So if we know that a triangle is a right triangle, we know that only one angle measures 90. So we only need the measure of one of the other angles to determine the measure of the third. How can that be? Well, right triangle, we automatically know one. So one angle of a right triangle measures 28 degrees. Well, we know that, okay, three angles together have to add up to 180. So we know 90, because it's a right triangle, we know 28. So 90 plus 28 is 118. Well, then we subtract that from 180, and we get 62, and it checks out. All right, we're almost out of time, so I'm going to end this recording, and then we will start with try it 4.